Welcome back. We're talking about the fundamental role that teaching loads have on the quality of college education and how you need to know what that teaching load is before you commit to a specific school. In part 1, I talked about how overworked the faculty are at institutions with 4 and 4 and 4-3 teaching loads. So if you're looking at the rest of the teaching load combinations on this spectrum, which one is the best overall? The answer to that question will surprise you. And that's why we're going to talk about each one in detail here at the College Insider. And so next on the line is a 3 and 3 teaching load. Now, 3 and 3 is probably the most balanced teaching load that you see on this spectrum. What 3 and 3 means is that your professors have a balanced workload, that there is a balance between the amount of courses they teach, the research that they do, and the committees that they serve on. What it really means is that they have the time to devote to teaching in the classroom and your assessment as a student. It means that they have time to work with you in office hours, talk to you outside of class, and in general, just be more energetic in their teaching. So the next one after 3 and 3 is another hybrid. It's the 3 and 2 teaching load. Now, a 3 and 2 teaching load means that one semester, a professor has even less courses to teach so that they can devote more time for their research. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but what a 3 and 2 teaching load tells you is that you're starting to look at schools where research in evaluating professors plays a really large role. You're starting to look at schools that live under the publish or perish paradigm, meaning if professors don't publish enough, they're not going to stay at that school. That kind of pressure on a professor really starts to distract from their teaching. At a 3 and 2 institution, that pressure is very real. And that leads us to the 2 and 2 teaching load. Now, as you can imagine, a 2 and 2 teaching load means that you are in the land of publish or perish. You are at a school whose number one priority is for their faculty to publish, to make a name for themselves, to have a large reputation in their field, maybe even an international reputation. It's all about publishing. And these schools will do a lot of lip service about teaching, but what they really care about is their professors' reputation and how much these professors are publishing. That puts a lot of pressure on professors to spend their time publishing and less time focused on their students. But it also means something else. A 2 and 2 teaching load means that you are not going to be able to study under a professor through the trajectory of your time at the school. Most colleges and universities structure their programs so that they have a very heavy core foundation for freshmen. These developmental courses that help build foundations for students to pursue more in-depth study in their field later on down the line. Professors are usually required or pressured to teach in one of those core courses. Then they teach in upper level courses throughout the curriculum. Well, what that means is that you're going to take a professor freshman year, and then it's going to be very hard to take that professor more than 2 times. You might get them in your junior year, you might get them in a senior capstone course, but if this was a professor that was really good, if this was a professor who really helped you learn, they're not going to be available through the schedule because of that 2 and 2 teaching load. Now, I wouldn't be too quick to dismiss a 2-2 research university. There are a couple of good reasons to go there. And no, it's not because their school consistently makes it to the March Madness tournament. A 2-2 research university can frequently provide hands-on undergraduate research experience, either as a lab assistant in the sciences or some other kind of hands-on work in engineering. These are good reasons to go to a research institution. But outside of that, there are real considerations to use caution when picking a research institution for an undergraduate degree. So this issue of access to professors throughout your college career is key for considering which school you want to attend. With a 3-3 load, what you're going to find is that you have access to a professor who has the time and the energy to devote to you as an individual student. You'll also be able to take that professor multiple times throughout your college career. At a 2-2 teaching institution, that particular feature is compromised. And this issue of access to professors is key to the second question that you want to ask. And it's the one we're going to explore in detail in part 2.